Do you actually exist in the way that you think you do? This may seem like a bizarre question, but let's look into it. Let me ask you, how did you come to be at all? Not you as the organic apparatus, the body, but the you that appears to be inhabiting it from the sperm to the cradle to the grave. For instance, how did you manage to wake up this morning? Did you decide to do it? Was it volitional by your own effort? Or did it just happen? Where were you in that process? This is worth deeply investigating. Wasn't it that the film of existence began to play spontaneously, as if by some kind of remote control? And by what means did you come to realize that it was happening? Wasn't it that consciousness just happened to arise? And before it arose, you had no concept of a you, or a body, or the world. And if it didn't arise, where would you be? You would be where you always were, and where you always are, before consciousness manifests anything. You have to be somewhere for consciousness to manifest out of your perceptivity. And what is it that is perceiving that consciousness has arisen? Where were you, or what were you, before consciousness arose? Where were you before you had any notion of existing? Where were you before the sperm and ovum decided to mate? And how is it that the notion of existing didn't occur to your psychosomatic apparatus until around the 3rd year of life? Did it not arise just as it arises every morning, until it no longer does? And if it doesn't arise, where will you be? It's not even your consciousness. The ocean of limitless, timeless, spaceless consciousness is merely operating through your organism for short periods of only about 16 hours at a time. What comes and goes isn't real. Let us understand the situation that sages for millennia have understood. The absolute awareness, the noumenon, which underlies the appearance of the universe, manifests itself as consciousness simply because it appears to be its nature to do so. We don't know what it is or how it comes about. We can call it God, but that doesn't explain anything. And it's only when this limitless consciousness manifests through a physical organism, your body or any other body, even if it's a dreamed body, and it awakens to the sense of I am, I exist. It forgets its limitlessness and falls into self-consciousness, and therefore begins to identify with the physical vehicle as you. And out of that union burgeons the whole illusion of a universe, just as it does when it instantaneously awakens as a full-blown universe in your nightly dream. So do we actually exist except in our own imagination, or in the eyes of other equally imagined beings? In our nightly dreams, we and others always seemingly different mentalities to our own, are only figments of our own imagination. This is the incredible power of consciousness. But while in the dream, we believe that I and the others are absolutely real. But the fact is, what you are is everything that's going on in that dream. When you are out of the dream, it becomes evident that you were not the character that you implicitly believed that you were while in the dream, but instead you were the dreamer of that dream. Now in the day, imagination creates another world in which there appear to be people with different mentalities to our own. And in this we also believe that we are real. Only because consciousness has arisen. And similarly, you are everything that consciousness projects. This is why so many people suddenly have the experience of oneness with everything. What needs to be realized, and what's been realized by every self-realized sage, is that here and now is exactly the same thing. This is the cosmic dream, and you as the Absolute are the dreamer. Consciousness, as a reflection of the Absolute awareness, cannot manifest unless it is through an apparently physical organism. I understand how difficult it is to realize that you are only something in the nature of a hologrammistic appearance in the waking dream of existence. There's no way to get your head around this. You have to put your mind completely out of the way when you listen to this kind of thing. Otherwise it will only survive as an intellectual concept. You have to listen from your being. No amount of sadhana or spiritual practice will bring you to this awareness. Awakening only occurs by divine apperception, that is, instantaneously comprehending something without the interference of any mental process, in order for the reality to be realized.